as this creek overflows onto the highway here, and just look at the damage that powerful water has caused.
This is one thing that the mainstream media is refusing to talk about. The fact that our country is burning down on one end and drowning on the other. Meanwhile, a poopy plague is sweeping the nation, all because of Trump's cuts. And it seems like the only ones who are talking about it are us Democratic Socialists.
I think I speak for all of us when I say that the experience in Michigan has been abnormally shitty over the last couple of months. We've had an outbreak of cyclosporiasis causing explosive diarrhea. And the air quality, well, it's also shitty. We've got an opportunity to think differently. If I was elected, I'd be the first ever public health official elected to the US Senate. And I think we probably could use one of those right about now. Why? Because the FDA and the CDC should be there to make sure that lettuce doesn't cause you to sit on a toilet for most of your day. And because I don't take money from ExxonMobil and Chevron, the very same folks who've caused this situation where our air quality is now trash. So, y'all, I'm running for US Senate because it just shouldn't be this shitty.
Of course, the only reason we have this outbreak to begin with is because of Trump. Actually, it's more than just the tomato face. It's the entire GOP and their small government grift, convincing Americans that it's a waste of money to monitor for viruses and wearing masks is tyranny. But all of a sudden, conservatives are surprised when they have to run to the toilet after their Taco Bell.
Health investigators may have finally solved the mystery of why so many people have fallen so ill eating contaminated lettuce. The Washington Post reports that federal officials have now potentially linked the outbreak of a parasite called cyclospora to Taylor Farms, a California produce distributor. The company supplies salad products to numerous grocery stores and fast food restaurants, including Taco Bell. Thousands of cases have been reported in 34 states, the majority in Michigan, the vast majority over the last few weeks. The disease causes severe gastrointestinal illness. While no one has died, more than 100 people have been hospitalized. Taco Bell had already, as a precaution, removed salad ingredients from some of its restaurants. One Michigan health official told CBS News that normally it would see 40 cases of cyclosporiasis, but in this outbreak, they have handled more than 4,000 cases.
It only took 4,000 cases of explosive Trump for the federal government to finally stop wasting time and get to the bottom of this. At this point, it's not negligence, it's damn near biological warfare against their own people. And yet Stephen Miller, the Timu Goebbels, has the audacity to go on national television and say it's the left that hate nature?
The leftist is fundamentally motivated by envy, by hatred, by jealousy. The leftist looks at what is beautiful and what is good and what is natural and is filled with envy and hatred.
It's us who hate beauty and goodness and all that is natural, and yet this is the fruit of conservative policy. Canadian First Nation communities are burning to the ground, and the smoke is flying all the way to New York City. When I spoke to Oliver Larkin in Florida, he emphasized the dangers of climate change.
Just to state it clearly, I'm a supporter of the Green New Deal. I see this as essential legislation to provide for the longevity and sustainability of our South Florida community, as well as communities all across the country and all across the world, in fact. The environment in Florida, because we are such a unique place, has oftentimes been seen as a bipartisan issue. Even if Republicans don't necessarily practice what they preach, they still ostensibly motion towards protecting clean water, because when we have a marine industry in South Florida that supports hundreds of thousands of jobs, whether you're a charter fishing boat captain, you own a paddleboard company, you have a diving company that takes snorkelers and scuba divers to enjoy the coral reef ecosystem, the myriad of ways that there is a marine industry that in South Florida, our environment is our economy. So I think this is an issue where we can actually win over, not to speak of the Republican politicians that will speak out of both sides of their mouths, but Republican voters do see the imperative to protecting our water quality. I believe that there's a tremendous room for opportunity to win people over.
In Texas, flooding is also a massive and growing issue. After the deaths of nearly 140 people last year, the same area is facing yet another 1,000-year flood. It's almost as if what the left has been saying for decades was right the whole time. I mean, look at this.
And it does look like the flood situation here in the western Texas Hill Country is getting worse. Definitely very heavy rain. Numerous storms continue to develop, fed by a low-level jet of 30 knots. So certainly turn around, don't drown. But a very dangerous flooding situation continues with this upper-level low over southwestern Texas.
MAGA and Stephen Miller live in another universe because no one thinks that they are the preservers of natural beauty, especially not Stephen Miller. Have you looked at him? And Trump is trying to build the border wall straight through one of Texas's most popular parks, enraging a ton of conservatives, not only because they're destroying the earth, but because their vanity projects and climate denial are insanely expensive. For example, look at the chemical contamination that's happening due to the flooding. What are the chances that evil insurance companies are going to help you with whatever disease you catch from this? That's another issue that Oliver Larkin was great on when I spoke to him.
There's a tremendous solvency crisis, a liquidity crisis with insurers that have been completely wiped out. One bad storm, and we've seen this on the Gulf Coast of Florida, our district in Southeast Florida on the Atlantic side has been fortunately spared from a lot of the worst effects. But I've spoken with folks over on the Gulf Coast. They still have tarps on their homes 3-4 years after these storms hit. Insurance companies, private insurers don't have the liquidity to even pay out the claims when it's multiple billions of dollars in damages that we're seeing. So in my estimation, and going door to door and talking to homeowners, people who purchase their retirement home on a fixed income in South Florida, and all of a sudden their annual property insurance bill doubled. It goes from $3,000 to $6,000, and they're being forced to sell their homes, to reassess where they thought they were going to live for the rest of their lives and move into apartments or into senior living communities because they can't afford the cost of private homeowners insurance. So we need to have a federal solution to this, because in Florida, it's hurricanes, it's flooding, it's extreme weather. But if you look out west in California, Nevada, and Arizona, it's wildfires. Homeowners out there can't get their homes insured because of different effects of the climate crisis. So if we have a federal homeowners insurance guarantee that can provide homeowners insurance at cost without having these exorbitant, premiums that people pay premiums, and then if they file a claim, they'll get dropped from their insurance company rather than having the claim actually paid out. So what are we actually paying our property insurance for if the insurance companies aren't even going to cover us when we file that claim?
Once again, the Democratic Socialists are the adults in the room, addressing actual issues that affect regular people's lives. While Trump's fascists sit in their ivory towers and the establishment Dems sit on the sidelines, we'll be here doing the real work. So check out your local DSA chapter and subscribe to US Democratic Socialists. I'm Tony Hinderman, and I'll catch you next time.